We begin tonight with the repatriation of around 400 Filipinos from the coronavirus-stricken MV Diamond Princess docked in Yokohama, Japan. The first of two chartered planes carrying the Filipinos is set to arrive any minute now. Those without flu-like symptoms will be quarantined for 14 days in New Clark City. Marian Enriquez with the story.
There are now 80 Filipino crew members aboard the MV Diamond Princess cruise ship who have tested positive for the COVID-19. That's after 21 more contracted the virus. The Tokyo Philippine Embassy said 9 of the positive cases were already discharged from their respective hospitals and were given a clean bill of health. The embassy has given an assurance that the Filipinos are in good hands.
Ino-offload po yung mga pasyente nag-test positive from the boat, and they are immediately admitted to Japanese medical facilities in and around the Tokyo area.
There are 538 Filipinos aboard the virus-stricken vessel. Those who tested negative will be repatriated Tuesday evening. Before the operation, Captain Genaro Arma of the MV Diamond Princess cruise took the time to thank the Filipino crew.
I consider you the real hero of this journey. Now it's time for you to go home. I have no words to express my gratitude for what you've done.
Over 400 Filipinos started embarking at noontime Tuesday at the Yokohama port. They were then brought to the Haneda Airport via bus. 2 chartered flights will ferry them. One will arrive at the Clark International Airport at 8:30 p.m., while the second one will land at 10:40 p.m. The planes also have an isolated area should anyone show symptoms during the flight.
Meron po tayong pwesto doon sa eroplano na pwede natin silang i-isolate. No? Nag-request na tayo ng mga engineering controls, ang tawag nila, para meron tayong a little parang isolation or isolated area in the carrier that we are going to use.
Upon arrival, those with flu-like symptoms will be monitored by medical teams. The rest will undergo quarantine at the New Clark City's Athletes Village in Capas, Tarlac for 14 days as planned. For News 5, Marian Enriquez. We are One News.
And still on that cruise liner, a 4th passenger who tested positive for COVID-19 while aboard the ship has died, while the number of cases around Japan continues to rise. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is calling on citizens to telecommute or to work staggered hours to minimize risk. In South Korea, the government plans to test more than 200,000 members of the church at the epicenter of the COVID-19 outbreak in the country. The announcement comes as the country's total number of cases has now passed 900. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are advising Americans to avoid non-essential travel to South Korea. The militaries of the two countries could also hold back on joint trainings as 13 South Korean soldiers have tested positive for the virus. The White House is seeking $2.5 billion from Congress to fend off the outbreak. $1 billion will go to vaccine development. In Europe, 7 people have already died in Italy due to the virus. That is out of at least 229 confirmed cases. The surge in infections has halted the production of, among other things, the 7th Mission Impossible film. And backdropped by all of these, the World Health Organization insists that the COVID-19 outbreak is not out of control, nor does it qualify, WHO says, as a pandemic.
Using the word pandemic now does not fit the facts, but it may certainly cause fear. This is not the time to focus on what word we use. This is a time for all countries, communities, families, and individuals to focus on preparing.
Let's take a look at the latest figures on the outbreak based on Johns Hopkins University's online tracking map. By now, more than 80,200 people have been infected. This is now 10 times more than the total of SARS cases. South Korea now accounts for the second highest number of cases in the world, 977 in the peninsula. Outside Asia, Italy tops the infection list with 270 cases. The death toll has now breached 2,700. So far, that's within a 3% fatality rate for confirmed infections. 42 of those deaths are outside mainland China. Iran accounts for 15 fatalities. Recovery cases, meanwhile, number nearly 28,000. For the Philippines, as of Tuesday morning, 29 patients under investigation for COVID-19 have been discharged after now testing negative for the virus. The health department has cleared 509 patients under investigation. Only 16% or 98 of the PUIs remain admitted in different hospitals, while only one new suspected case of COVID-19 was reported. In total, there are now 601 patients being monitored in the country.